Have you ever prayed but never got an answer, and wondered if God was really there? Did you feel all hope was gone, but in His time He came along and answered the prayer you thought was gone? There is no prayer too small, for God hears them all. The answer may not be just what you want, but He always knows what's right, even when we think it's wrong. Just remember, there is no prayer too small. Will ask, you shall receive. No matter what it is, I still believe. There is no prayer too small, and even when we fall, He gives us just exactly what we need. There is no prayer too small, God hears them all. The answer may not be just what you want, but He always knows what's right, even when we think it's wrong. Just remember, there is no prayer too small. No prayer too small. He always knows what's right. God hears them all. There is no prayer too small. My God hears them all. The answer may not be just what you want, but He always knows what's right, even when we think it's wrong. Just remember, there is no prayer too small. No prayer too small. No prayer too small. God hears them all.
Hello, my name is Ralf Friedrichs. I'm an addiction recovery coach and the host of the Take Your Life Back Today show. As an addiction recovery coach, I'm going to share something with you, and let me be crystal clear to leave an everlasting impact upon you. Just imagine being buried alive. You're in a coffin, but you know you're not dead. You don't know how to get out of that coffin. You try lifting the lid. The enormous weight upon the lid prevents you from getting out. You try banging on the lid to maybe unsettle the dirt, and someone on top might notice and start digging their way down towards you. This is what it's like to find yourself at the lowest point of alcohol and drug addiction. You know you need help. You know you can't do it on your own, but you don't know where to turn. In reality, there are probably people standing by your grave. You just don't know that. You just think you're going to die. Usually, though, people don't think about death when they're habitually abusing drugs and alcohol. In order to defeat an addiction, you have to be great at repressing the fear of death. I often ask you, my audience, did it ever cross your mind while you were abusing drugs and alcohol that maybe, just maybe, you might overdose and take something away from yourself called life? God had given you life and you take that away. But if that's not selfish enough, more selfishly is to take your life away from the people that love and count on you most. Your mother, your father, your husband, your wife, your brother, your sister, your children, even your grandchildren. With this, let me leave one last thought. Don't be like the person that I just spoke about that went to their grave without seeking help. Instead, you be a stronger person and pick up the phone and call me at 844-405-HELP, and I promise you I'll help you take your life back. For your life is gone. People like Larry Geis from the Geis Academy at 516-458-2741. Larry Geis and I always tell folks like you, it doesn't matter where you came from, it doesn't matter where you've been. What matters is that you're here to improve today and get a brighter tomorrow. Larry Geis has over 30 years experience as a life coach, as an addiction recovery coach. You can give him a call at 516-458-2741, or you can go to www.odysseyconsultant.org. Larry Geis from the Geis Academy. Folks, when you take your slippers off at night, don't just leave them by the edge of your bed. Stick them way under your bed. In the morning, you'll be forced to drop to your knees to go and retrieve those slippers because you left them under your bed. And while you're on your knees, you can utilize a thing I call knee mail. That's your communication line between you and God each and every morning. Those are the precious times where you ask God for guidance and direction, for mercy and forgiveness. When you thank God personally for the health, for relationships you have, for a home and for food, that is when you speak to God each and every morning. I call it knee mail. And now, put those slippers on, folks, and walk with God 24/7. Tonight, take them off again, put them under your bed. Tomorrow, repeat over and over again, 7 days a week, and results are coming your way. Knee mail, KNEE mail, your personal chat line between you and God. When is the best time to stop drinking? For everyone, it's a different time. The only time to stop drinking is right now, I believe. Even when an addict realizes how much their behavior is costing them, they can still delay quitting alcohol or drugs. The danger with this is that the person delays too long, they can leave it too late and irreversible. They can reach a stage in their addiction where they have inflicted so much damage on their body that the full recovery will no longer be possible. This is because the final destination for addicts is death or madness unless they are able to stop the decline. The only time that the person will be able to stop this behavior is right now. There is absolutely no benefit in delay because the person is only putting off time when they can begin to find real happiness. Reasons for why people delay their recovery from addiction. The individual can have many justifications for delaying their recovery from addiction, including the individual can be ambivalent about their recovery, which means that they still have not let go of the idea that they will find some happiness without substance abuse. So long as the individual holds on to their hope, they will not be willing to let go of the addiction completely. As long as they keep thinking that, well, I might not find happiness. The person may believe that they will have to lose it all before they're able to stop. This is a misunderstanding about what it means to hit rock bottom, folks. And it means that people die addicted because they are never sure when they have gone down far enough. The individual can have many mistaken ideas about what recovery means in practice. This means that they delay seeking for help for the problem. Some people are waiting for other people to save them from addiction, a type of learned helplessness. They fail to realize that the only person who can save themselves is themselves. The person can still understand the misguided impression that they can control their intake. Rather than quitting the addiction, they experiment with moderation, but such experiments usually fail, because the only real option is complete abstinence. The individual may be waiting for their situation to improve before they give up alcohol and drugs. The reality is, folks, that they are caught in a downward spiral of addiction, and things will only get worse over time. The person can feel resistant to the idea of getting help, but they're unable to stop alone. This means that they are caught in a position of wanting to stop, but being unwilling to take the steps needed to make it a reality. People can be deluded into thinking that there is no rush to recover. They will keep on putting it off until a future date. The individual might not feel ready to break away from their drug using or drinking friends. They are fearful about stepping outside this group that they're so comfortable with. Those people who have low self-efficacy may want to stop the addiction but do not feel concurrently capable of doing so. Until they take a leap of faith, they will never find out what they are capable of achieving. If the person has low self-esteem, they might not believe that they deserve anything better than their current life. Some people will be afraid of facing the consequences of their previous actions, and they use this as an excuse to stay addicted. The problem is that until they become ready to face their past, there can be no moving forward. The individual may fear that the idea of recovering from addiction means taking a step into the unknown and making significant changes in their life. Dangers of delaying recovery. When people delay getting help for their addiction, they are taking a risk because of the following. Those who are addicted to alcohol or drugs will find that their situation deteriorates over time. This means that the longer they abuse alcohol and drugs, the more they will lose. The longer the person remains addicted, the more risk there is, and the more chance there will be permanent damage to their body. Some conditions, such as alcohol liver disease, are irreversible once they reach a certain point. The longer the person remains addicted, the more they will hurt other people. Family and friends will have already suffered enough as a result of substance abuse. Life is short, and the longer the person remains addicted, the less time they will have to enjoy sobriety. By delaying their recovery, the person is delaying their own happiness. It just doesn't make any sense to do this, does it now? There is no guarantee the individual will want to escape their addiction at a later date. The only time they can stop is right now. Dangers of waiting to hit rock bottom. It is common for people who have quit an addiction to do so after they hit rock bottom. This is the point when they finally become ready to escape the miserable life of addiction. They have lost enough and were not prepared to lose any more. The individual can clearly see where their life is heading, and decide to abandon ship before it's too late. The concept of hitting rock bottom has been corrupted by addicts to justify their continued use of alcohol and drug abuse. They believe that rock bottom is an objective point in addiction when getting sober becomes easier. The addict holds the dangerously mistaken view that rock bottom means losing everything. This means that they put up with the misery of addiction because they expect a special day to arrive when they will have had enough. The problem with this type of thinking is that rock bottom will mean death for many of those individuals. Hitting rock bottom is not about losing everything. It just means the individual has reached a point where they decide they've lost enough. Some people will have a high rock bottom where they become willing to give up everything they have lost relatively little as a result of their addiction. They see what the future has in store for them, and they do not need to descend any further. There is no benefit to had by falling lower in addiction. There is only more suffering. The reality of hitting rock bottom can be better explained using the metaphor of a descending elevator. It is up to the passengers to decide where they want to get off. This will be their rock bottom. Good reasons to stop drinking are as follows. Delaying addiction recovery is playing with fire. There are compelling reasons for why the individual should quit their addiction right now, including the sooner the person stops, the sooner they can begin living again. There is no sane justification for prolonging any suffering. The only time that the person can stop is right now. If they keep on delaying, they will never stop. Sobriety is a gift, and by stopping now, the individual will be giving themselves longer to enjoy this gift. It is never too late to stop drinking or using drugs, but it is better that this happens sooner than later. By stopping right now, the individual will be helping their loved ones by reducing their worries and suffering. When people become sober, they are able to find great success in life. The sooner the person stops, the sooner they can enjoy success. By stopping now, the individual will lose less as a result of their addiction, and they will lose if they persist with their behavior. How to stop drinking now. In order to stop drinking now, the individuals can arrange to enter rehab. By taking this step, the individual is committing to their sobriety in a positive way, and they are ensuring that they will have the support they need during the early weeks of recovery. Make an appointment to see the addiction therapist as soon as possible. Right now is the best time. If the individual is unsure about their options, they may benefit by speaking to an addict therapist. Attend a recovery fellowship meeting. This is a way to meet other people who have managed to break away from their addiction. These individuals would be able to offer advice and guidance. Tell family and friends of the decision to quit. By voicing their decision to quit alcohol and drugs, the individual has further committed themselves to their path, and it will be difficult for them to change their mind later without feeling embarrassed. Seeking help online. There are now many online resources, including AA, that the individual can turn to when they need help stopping their addiction. Immediately break off contact with drug-using and drinking friends. These people will not only try to keep each other trapped in their addiction. Arrange to see a doctor right away. A doctor will be able to assess the individual to see if they need to have medically supervised detox. The time is today, and the time is now. Take the first leap by quitting and making the changes. If you need to, give me a call at 844-405-HELP, and I promise you I'll direct you to the right connections, if I can't help you, to the right rehab centers, wherever you're watching, whatever state, whatever county. Give me a call, 844-405-HELP, and let me help you take your life back before your life is gone.
but never got an answer, and wondered if God was really there. Did you feel all hope was gone, but in His time He came along and answered the prayer you thought was gone? There is no prayer too small, for God hears them all. The answer may not be just what you want, but He always knows what's right, even when we think it's wrong. Just remember, there is no prayer too small. Will ask, you shall receive. No matter what it is, I still believe. There is no prayer too small, and even when we fall, He gives us just exactly what we need. There is no prayer too small, for God hears them all. The answer may not be just what you want, but He wrong. Just remember